What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my man, and like I said, subscribe. So, more bad news for who? Who has all the, I'm out. Who has all the bad news? Sony has all the bad news. So I just read that Sony notified current and former employees of a data breach that may have included their personal information. I believe this was 2 months ago or something like that. I'm like, okay, this is why Jim Ryan quit. I mean, there's a bunch of reasons why Jim Ryan retired. He quit. That's the same difference. Retirement, quit. He would have went to 30 years if he was happy at his job, talking about, oh, I'm so sad because I have to travel a lot. Oh, man. And I made a mistake in the last video talking about 6 figures. You know your boy makes 7 figures. Come on, son. He's a multi-millionaire getting them checks. But anyway, Sony knew about this hack and they didn't say nothing. 2 months. And it took the hackers to come out to kind of let them know. Well, to let us know. You know, to let us know what's up. When something like that happens, wouldn't you say that it is the responsibility of the corporation that has had the breach to notify their customers that, hey, your data's been compromised, you may want to change passwords and all that stuff? They ain't saying nothing. 2 months is forever, especially for hackers. They can go in there like, let's steal all of this, let's sell it to Yugoslavia or Romania or Russia. Come on, son. That's irresponsible. Now, is that because the Japanese side didn't want to lose face? Because let's be honest, Japan's in charge over at Sony. That's a Japanese company. Japan's in charge of PlayStation. Now you could be like, oh, but their headquarters is in the U.S. and they have a British guy. Well, had a British guy who was the CEO. That doesn't matter. That doesn't. The bosses, the actual bosses, Japan. Who's taking over for Jimbo leaving? Not another British guy. Nope. Not an American. Nope. Japan. Nippon. Japanese. A Japanese fella who is the COO or CFO? No, it's the COO, I believe, of Sony. And so he's taking over. He's doing double duty basically, because they got nobody. Nobody wants that job. Or, I mean, somebody should want that job because they have the opportunity to actually correct the boat, the ship. Because right now, I saw somebody did a thumbnail of the Titanic sinking and they put PlayStation on the side of it. I was like, you know what, that's kind of happening. It's happening, I always say this, it's happening in slow motion. And it's funny to see the ponies on X, Twitter X, whatever the hell you want to call it. I mean, it's been real quiet, tumbleweeds, you know what I'm saying? They're not up here bolstering, beating their chests. They got nothing to say, nothing to promote. Some are trying to compare Gran Turismo 7 to Forza Motorsport. Yo, okay, first of all, Destin Legary, knucklehead. Second of all, yes, he corrected his mistake, still a knucklehead. He still thinks that GT7 looks better than Forza Motorsport. I looked at a video, so some other people uploaded videos more accurately. And I was looking at that and I said, okay, Forza looks way better. Even though this is one, not a gripe, but this is the thing about Forza. They're doing what Sony does, in that they're using all the smoke and mirrors that they can possibly do to get the effect that they want. Meaning, yes, there is on-track ray tracing, but they didn't say what type of ray tracing. And so there is some limited reflection stuff, but most of the ray tracing is ambient occlusion. And you can tell they showed Forza Motorsport 7, and then they showed the new Forza Motorsport. And you can tell the ambient occlusion on the old one is like barely there. And then the new one's like, okay, that looks way better. It looks more real. And I look at Gran Turismo 7 and it looks plain crackerjack. It looks like a PlayStation 4 game, which it is, honestly, because it's for PlayStation 4 as well. Yeah, I was like, how is, it once again makes IGN look like garbage. I feel like the goodwill towards IGN is diminishing. Them as a news outlet for people to take seriously, because the narrative, narratives don't just work for console warriors, it works for video game outlet warriors. I don't know if that's a thing, but the reputation, the believability, it is just reputation of IGN is diminished. And would I go there for my news or information? Definitely not information. Definitely not tech comparisons, because they suck. They really do suck at it. They're trying to keep pace with Digital Foundry. They cannot. They cannot. They don't have enough skills. They don't have enough know-how of computers in general to do that, because Digital Foundry lives and breathes bits and gigabytes and gigabits and resolutions, and even though it is 100%, 1,000 million times hard now to track the resolution of games because of the fact that all this temporal smoothing and stuff, FSR and DLSS and all that stuff, they're still doing their due diligence. They're still getting in there and say, okay, well, although resolution doesn't actually matter, the final output matters. And so that's what they're doing. It's like, okay, this one looks better, this one performs better, a little bit of hitches here, a little bit of hitches there. You could tell that the detail, it's not as much detail in this one. They're doing all the things that they need to do outside of telling you the actual resolution number, which was a kind of a debate point of the console warriors, but it's not that important, because overall, if you're looking at, this game looks better, period. I don't care what magic they're doing, it looks better. And this is the future technology that we're gonna be seeing. We're gonna be seeing these machines, I would say even PC, they're gonna use FSR 29 and DLSS 62 to make these games look and perform better than they natively would. I would say the only downside to that is that it increases latency. So once they figure out the magic formula to have the least amount of latency plus all of the effects and all of the benefits of these technologies, FSR, DLSS, then all these teraflops and resolution and all that stuff doesn't matter. It is really about I/O, and it is about horsepower does matter, but if you're efficient with your horsepower versus non-efficient, then you're always going to come on top. So that's a cool thing about what's happening on the tech side of the industry. But when it comes to these media outlets, when it comes to Sony hiding things, like they hid the information about the hack, right? Data breach, whatever you want to call it. And that's a bad look. And now that's coming out even more. I mean, the hackers came out and said, yeah, we hacked y'all. We're gonna release the data real soon. That's why they probably came out with that article. Sony, I don't think Sony has said anything officially publicly yet, but we'll see. But you have the data hack, and you have these irresponsible media outlets doing comparisons when they don't know what the hell they're doing. Granted, it was a bug with the HDR, I believe, or something like that, but still. And then there is Sony, who, okay, back in the day, right? We talk about scores, right? We talk about game scores, Metacritic in particular. Metacritic's Forza Motorsport's 85, I believe. Gran Turismo got a 80. Gran Turismo 7 got an 87 back in the day. Here's the problem with that. And I said this when this first happened. I said this, and I'm gonna repeat it because it's important. People need to realize, look at Sony for what they are and what they have done to the industry and how they manipulated and did all these not just evil things, right? So what Sony did, GT7, is they released their preview code to, people who are gonna review code, whatever, right? Review code, boom, all the reviewers, oh, this game is cool, yeah, boo, boo, boo. They do all the reviews and they get, boom, Metacritic spits out 87. I believe it was like a month later or weeks later, Sony updates the game and adds microtransactions after the fact that all of these reviewers gave it scores. They reviewed an incomplete game. If all these microtransactions, and they were not good microtransactions, they were very predatory. If those were in the game, it would not have gotten an 87, period, point blank. It would have probably got less than what Forza Motorsport's getting now, and that's some bullshit. That's not, you know what? Look, that makes me want to reach through the internet. I can't even talk. That makes me want to reach through the internet and slap Sony. Just Sony the entity, not anyone in particular, just slap, because that's evil. That's like, how do you excuse that behavior? And how do you accept it? How do you forget that behavior and still have the phallic member of Sony all up in your guts, all up in your mouth? Because that's what you like, to fillet Sony, because whatever you are, I don't know, you're a pony, donkey, unicorn, that's what you like to do. It don't make sense, man. And they're getting away with this. People, at least I think it was Plume Network. Shout out to him, even though he's Canadian, still, you get a pass. Sorry. Destin's listening to Canadians. Anyway, it doesn't matter. He reminded me, I think it was today or yesterday. I was like, oh yeah, that's right, Sony did do that. And if all things were not equal, but if all things were fair, if Sony actually played fair, if they were a I don't know, virtuous company, a company that had a conscience, and they didn't do that. They actually put the microtransactions and let it stand, let the game stand as the actual game, not some facade. I think video games would be in a better place. I think because it moves like that from the leader, the number one spot. Oh, you're dictating the direction of video games because you're the head of the pack, but you're doing all this devious stuff. Devious stuff. It's like, how are people supposed to follow you when you're not leading by example? You're not leading. You're just doing whatever you need to do to stay on top. That's not a leader. That's someone who's destined to fail. And the failure has begun. It started a while ago, but Jim Ryan's quitting is another. It's a lot of nails in the coffin, like that. It's a little bit of crack left. Now, maybe they get somebody in that position that will do a Phil Spencer. You know what I'm saying? That will fix what the PlayStation is becoming. And I'm not talking about, getting rid of all the games and surface and all that stuff. That's irrelevant. That has to happen because they're far behind. They need to start rehearsing. They need to start practicing in that arena if they want to even have a chance of making something that's going to work. But they need somebody who, the fans like. I'm not even going to say love. I'm going to say like. And that's pretty much, look, bottom line, all this stuff's happening. I appreciate y'all hanging out. Listen to my dumb man. Like, subscribe. Hit me in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about Sony doing all these crazy things and all the good stuff. I appreciate, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. To the weed.